Hello and welcome to the Black Dog Podcast, episode number 376.
All aboard.
All aboard.
Do you know what? I'm going to have to find out every single bus number for every single bus company in the UK. And every time you read out an episode name or number, I'm going to read out a destination where that bus goes.
Not so much
376.
Not so much the train to Busan as more like the bus to Chine.
Yeah, there we go.
Right, okay, fair enough. Yeah, well, go on in. Usually at this point,
I will do so. In fact, I have a bus app, a UK-wide bus app on my phone. I will find out what is where the 376 goes.
There you go. Well, while you're doing that, I'll do the intros. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to the Black Dog Podcast, episode 376. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren, or Bus Wanker.
I'm Jim.
It's all gone quiet over there.
You gone, Elton?
No, I'm still here. I apologise. I'm here.
So you know the whole I'm Lee, I'm Darren, I'm Jim. It's your cue, my friend.
Darren was talking again.
Of course he's talking. He's talking all the bloody time. Just talk over the top of him. Hello, Elton.
Hello.
Hello. I learned after 30 odd years you just talk over the top of him and just ignore him. It just all turns into white noise after about 10 minutes. It's a bit like tinnitus or tinnitus, depending on what planet you come from.
Okay.
Well, go on, where's the 376 come from?
The 378 route goes from
378 or 376?
No, 376. It was 376, wasn't it? Yeah.
How can you forget? We've literally only been recording for 2 minutes and 15
Fuck off,
seconds.
I'm old. Right.
And half of that has been silence.
376.
And 30 seconds of that was the intro.
Man, this is great podcasting.
Is there a bus number?
Oh, hold on. Which direction do we want to go in? Do we want to go towards Newham Town Hall, or do we want to go towards Beckton Bus Station? Go on, live a little.
Do they change the direction?
Yeah. No, the number's the same, but I have to,
Beckton.
Beckton. Okay.
Yeah, then we could be the bus to Beckton as opposed to the train to Busan.
Yes, there we go. The bus to Beckton, the 376, starts off from Newham Town Hall and goes to Beckton. Goes to Beckton.
When's the next one?
The next one,
because I might be on it.
Really? Okay, let's pick a
Leave
stop.
you to it.
Let's pick a stop. Let's go for East Ham Manor Way.
There you go.
There we go. The 376 will be leaving in 12 minutes' time.
Okay.
Well, it would have gone by now if you're listening to this. It's already left. But back when we did this, there was 12 minutes to go before the bus left.
Right.
East Ham Manor Way.
Goodbye. I can make it.
Can you? Okay, goodbye. Go.
Right, anyway, yes, so we're going to get away from that. Let's never do that section again. Darren's bus table is probably the worst section we've ever done after Script Sandwich.
Do you remember that thing we were talking about, like reporting from the bottom of the barrel so we can hear the annual scraping?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we just did that.
I think you just did. Right, okay, brilliant. Well, anyway, welcome to this episode. We'll do our usual. We'll see how everyone's week's been, and then we'll move on to this week's first of the indeterminate weeks of horror. Well, I guess the second, considering we did Nosferatu last week.
That's right.
And we will be doing Train to Busan, and as a little additional optional, if we have time and if people have watched it, we will also do its prequel, which is Seoul Station.
Yes.
Otherwise known as...
Just shut the door. Shut the fucking door, you dippy twat.
You dippy twat, yeah. Right. But anyway, we'll get to that later. So, before we do that, let's see how everyone's week's been. Jim's back from the Florida Everglades with a crocodile wrapped around his foot. So, let's see how you done, Jim. How was your week, sir?
It's been very pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quiet week, chilling out, really. And got back in the UK at 30 this morning. So,
right.
It might be to me who falls asleep rather than Darren.
Brilliant.
That's my job.
I was going to say, I feel like it'll probably be me, the last man standing tonight. It's just like everyone nodding off.
No, I'm actually quite awake.
Right?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Honest.
Okay.
Even though I woke up at 4 this morning, I don't know why.
Okay. don't believe you, but we'll see how it
I
goes.
had
Yeah.
booster shot.
Anyway, Jim. There he goes. So you've just been chilling out, and getting back. There you go, Mr. Owl.
Yeah, basically, I've caught up on my reading. Although I did end up working one day,
Yeah.
as I got given an advance copy of Steve Falk's new book, Dark Masters, a few weeks ago, and I've been asked if I'd like to review it by Mr. Volk himself, apparently.
Right.
So I said, "Oh yes, please." And so I just finished reading it, and I know it's been launched later this month, and then I got a review. I got an email rather, and it said, "Is the review up yet? Because we're doing a big press release tomorrow. We'd like to link to it." So I said, the honest truth of, "Yes, it'll be up later today."
Then frantically writing a review. Panic!
Yep. Fortunately, I bought a Bluetooth keyboard for my tablet, so I wasn't trying to type on a touch screen. But
Right.
I literally had just finished. I had it all in Google Docs. I highlighted it all to copy the text into Blogger, and the text vanished.
Ah! No!
Now, Google Docs is supposed to auto-save. And indeed, when I looked back, on the preview page, I could see the page with the text.
Mm.
Can I get that page of text on screen? Can I fuck?
Oh, no.
So I had to just literally sort of, like share, turn back time, and just type again everything I just typed.
Oh, shit.
I was not happy.
No, I can't imagine you were. Oh, that's...
But having said that, the second version I think was probably better. So,
Mm.
There will now be a short intermission.
Albatross! 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 Course you don't get bloody wafers with it!
And we're back. You may notice that there was a little bit of a technical issue with Jim's voice. So through a lot of technical shenanigans, mainly me swearing at Skype support.
They've got a wonderful piece of feedback. It's the equivalent of a written flaming bag of shit on your doorstep. It really is.
Yeah.
This feels weird and dirty all at the same time.
It does.
Doesn't it?
So what we've managed to do is we're having a call on not on Skype, not on Appear In, not on Google Hangouts, but Facebook.
The book of the face.
next up, MySpace.
Yeah. And do join us on our GeoCities page.
ICQ.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to when we go live on LinkedIn.
So here we are on Facebook chat. It's not gone wonky
Yes.
yet. So anyway, there you go. That's different. So Jim, we got as far as your Stephen Volk review that you had to write, and then
Yes.
then it all went like this, and you kind of started dipping in and out. And so, did you manage to write the review?
Well, ironically enough, I did write the review.
Right.
I was writing it in Google Docs, which automatically saves, allegedly. And, and I had stopped and started, and it had been saved manually anyway, when I was going to come out of it to look up various facts and whatnot.
Mm.
Anyhow, I had finished the review. I selected, select all to copy and paste the text into Blogger to then edit and put in links and images, and all the text vanished.
Ah. Youch.
That's
Now,
not good.
on Google Docs, on the preview page, I could see all the text on the page.
Hmm.
When you open the doc, no text there. No version history either, which was annoying considering apparently that document had just been made just then.
Oh,
and,
fuck.
So I had to rewrite it all again. Turn back time like Cher. It's kind of, thanks, I really needed this. And got it up, checked it over, all looked good, sent the link off to PS Publishing, and then the next morning I got up and I was just checking my email, and a fresh email came in from the lady, my liaison there. She said, "Oh, brilliant, thanks a lot, great turnaround. However, the website looks a bit wonky. I've enclosed a screenshot." And indeed, there'd been a glitch in bloody Blogger's template, and it completely screwed up that post over since I last looked at it. So I opened it up, looked at the HTML, nothing wrong there, nothing weird. So I had to take all the text out, unformat it in a notepad, and paste it in all again, reformat everything again, put the images all back in again, and it worked.
Oh, for God's sakes.
It was like, I think this review's cursed. But anyhow, I got it. It got done. It got up. I mean, thing is, I think for some people on some devices they were able to read it fine because Teresa gave it a quick proofreading for me, and someone had read it and left comments, and other people had said, "Oh, good review." So it hadn't been. I don't know when it had gone scrambled. So for the next 3 days, I was just checking in, going, "I've got my eye on you. I've got my eye on you, motherfucker."
Yeah.
But these things are sent to Schreiers, apparently.
Yeah. I was going to say, technology is clearly not our friend at the moment. The modern day, black dog curse.
I mean, I'm bloody on holiday trying to do some rest and recuperation, and I end up stress levels through the roof again. That's brilliant.
Yeah. And speaking of which, how is your back?
That's getting a lot better. Having a swim every day was very good exercise for it, as recommended by the physio. It's still, I'm still in the painkiller, and it's still nagging a bit, but it is it's more kind of like just stubbornly lingering now. I've got another appointment to go back to see the physio next week, and we'll take it from there. But it's one of those, it's just kind of to the level now where most of the time I forget it's there. But that's kind of, my physio said, that's a dangerous time where you'll pick something up because you've forgotten and you'll do it in again.
Oh, okay.
So just been, remember kind of, just be careful. Don't overdo things.
Yeah.
Obviously, take care of it. But yeah, so that's all been good. I did watch some films. I'll quickly review on the plane.
Sure.
Well, there wasn't a great selection on the TUI flight.
Okay.
The recent releases section, which had about 8 films in, and a classic section, which seemed to me like old new releases.
Oh. Because
there's no way on God's earth that fucking last Alien film should be classed as a classic if they were offering. And Geostorm, for fuck's sake.
Geostorm?
This is in the classic section.
What, Gerard Butler?
Yes. Punching out the weather. I declined to watch either of those, obviously. But I did watch the new Tomb Raider. Which, just two notes for the makers. Firstly, if you show Alice Vikander with a prehensile neck on the poster, I want to see that bitch going full Henrietta from Evil Dead 2 in the movie. Didn't happen. Not happy. Secondly, it was called Tomb Raider. Maybe raid some tombs in it.
Well, yeah, that's always a good tip.
The thing, the film as it is, I thought that was a good opening act, but you took 90 minutes to do it, and you've run out of film for actually to get on and do the tomb raiding. Thanks.
Yeah. 90 minutes of a Deliveroo driver.
Yeah. And that's that bit with those fucking cyclists at the start. Now, then she needed those twin fucking machine pistols.
Oh, don't start Darren off on about bikes on the sidewalks again.
I was with you 100% when I saw that scene.
Yeah, it's just that's everything I fucking well think is I hate about.
All right, Granddad, calm your herbs. Just remember your pills. Just remember your pills. Take a deep breath and just deep breath.
Yeah. Anyway, I also watched Red Sparrow.
Oh yeah, what do you think of that?
It was a decent plane movie. I thought it was interesting on the plane they build it as a drama.
Mm.
I went into it thinking like that and thought, okay. And I think it worked better for me because of if I'd just seen the trailer, I'd expect it to be kind of Russian Black Widow. Mm. But having read reviews and sort of going to it, going, it's going to be more Smiley's People than Kingsman. It was an entertaining time filler on the plane, shall we say. It didn't have to concentrate too hard and just enough good actors and performances just, to pass the time. In a similar way, I mean, I tend to watch rather crappy films on planes because it's not an ideal way to see good films for the first time. So on the flight back, we had the delights of Rampage.
Oh my God!
What the rock?
Superb.
Yeah. Which I did really enjoy. That's the perfect plane movie. Absolutely ridiculous tat, but at the same time, didn't need to engage my brain on a red-eye flight. And it just amused me. Because it did have it hit a lot of the right stupid, cheesy monster movie sort of cliches. I would say beats, but cliches is more to the point.
Fair enough. Wow. Did the cabin lose pressure or something?
Like I say, it's a good movie for if you're on a plane.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
If I'd paid money to see it on a big screen, I might not be so kindly disposed to it. But certainly, if you watch it for free and you've got nothing better to do and you're trapped at 40,000 feet, and your other options are Geostorm, Sherlock Gnomes.
Oh, God.
Is that in the classic section?
It was.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It was quite the stodgiest selection of films I've seen in quite some time.
That's stretching the term classic to its absolute breaking point. Wow.
Completely. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But, so I had plenty of other things to amuse myself with, so which is a proper old school RTS I found for Android called Rusted Warfare.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I heard of that.
It's like kind of Command and Conquer / Total Annihilation. It's like £1.50, and it is just build your base, build lots of units, upgrade stuff, kick the hell out of everybody. No stupid missions or plot, just lots of maps. Get stuck in there.
Yeah. Well,
build thing. What does this do? Ooh, I'll build lots of them.
Well, if you've got any shares in it, you just made a sale because Darren's immediately jumped on his phone and is now downloading it.
I'm just taking a gander.
Yes.
Yeah, there is a free demo of it as well, and I played the demo. I thought, you've earned your 150. I want to play more of this and play with some of the big experimental units, like big walking spider tanks and things.
There's 3 games, don't you, Jim? There's a Rusted Warfare 3.
Yes, I know. So I've opened a Pandora's box, but
okay,
so it goes.
Okay. Well, while my erstwhile colleague here sits there and downloads like half a gig's worth of game to his phone. Move
on to Elton.
Let's move on to Okay, fair enough. We'll move on to Elton. So, Elton, how's your week been, sir?
Quite terrible, actually.
Oh, okay.
Quite terrible.
How terrible is terrible?
Oh, what? On Sunday, I spent 3 hours in A&E.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Why is that, then?
And the story begins. It was Sunday morning, and I'd woken up, as I would do, for the motor racing early in the morning.
Right.
My alarm went off around about 5:30 for this. And I got up. I was like, no, do you know what? I'm far too tired for this. I need sleep. Even though I do love the motor racing, I need sleep. And so I went back to bed. I was then awoken about 10 to 9 by the dog outside. The fucking dog outside, man. fucking yappy little bastard.
Mm.
And I was laying there, and I was just contemplating what to do for the rest of the day, when I got a funny little tingling thing on my face. I thought, oh, that's different. And then it kind of spread up to my head.
Right.
And all of a sudden I went all foggy and all lightheaded and wanting to be sick. And I was like, oh, this ain't good. And I was trying to say them words. I could think the words. I couldn't say the words.
Jesus.
Yeah. And started to kind of panic about it. And so I settled down. Thought, okay, something needs to be done. Well, I thought that word. What actually came out of my mouth was something.
Wow.
And that's all that came out.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had I didn't say the word stroke, but fuck me, that went through my head straight away.
Well,
I was
that's, yeah.
what the hell is going on? And I did all like the test. I did the squeezing of the hands. I stuck my tongue out. I did the smile test. And I was like, okay, well, that's all working. But what's going on? And I think, I can't remember, Amanda came back from walking the dog. I spoke to my daughter. I said, look, do I look funny?
Yeah. That's the wrong question.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But she went, no, you look all right. You just look a bit pale. I went, okay. And I was trying to explain to her that I'm having trouble speaking, but it just wasn't coming out. And then Amanda came back and I said it to her. She said, no, you sound all right, but maybe a little slow, but that's it. And I was, no, there's something quite wrong here. And so I sat down and thought about it for a little while longer. I thought, no, do you know what? I'm going to go up to bed. And then it was all decided, yeah, we're going to the hospital. So we went to the hospital and got into A&E, walked in through the door and went, okay, right, what can we do for you today? And I tried to explain it and couldn't get it out. I tried to explain it and the guy was like looking at me going, oh, okay. Have you got movement in both arms? I went, yeah, look, there we go. It's all flapping my hands around in A&E. And okay, so I filled out all the forms and I moved on to the next desk where the lady was trying to talk to me and gave up and just ended up talking to Amanda. It was a case of, okay, I'm not needed here, but I'm needed here to do the tests.
Well, yeah, being the patient involved, you usually have to be present. They can't just make shit up and throw it in the machine and go. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Meanwhile, while I'm trying to get signed in, this thing is coming and going, and so I would have sporadic moments of being fine, and then I'd have a wave of I can't get any words out whatsoever. I have a hard time getting words out at the best of times, but when I'm panicking and this thing is got hold of me, it is really weird. It felt really weird, and so I had one of them cannulas stuck in my hand for the very first time, which looked awesome. I love them little things, and had some blood taken and some tests done on me and told to sit in a waiting room. And then I was promptly told, well, no, that's just a migraine.
Oh.
And my first question was, okay, can migraines do that? He went, yeah, of course I can. Oh, silly me. Silly me. So, I wasted NHS time. I do apologise, but fuck me, that was scary.
We don't apologise, mate. I mean, you know.
I'm apologising to the NHS in general for wasting their time.
No, you didn't waste the time, mate. You had all the signs of the big S word. So you had to go, you're not a medical expert. How are you supposed to know?
I've had migraine. I've known many people have had migraines, but I don't know anyone's had those symptoms from a migraine.
No, I think the worst
wouldn't have been my diagnosis.
No, I mean the worst I ever had was sort of spots in front of the eyes, kind of like flashy bits. But
yeah,
and kind of having to go and lie down in a darkened room for a couple of days. But I mean, I've never had anything like that.
I've had migraines. I've never had anything remotely close to what I had on Sunday, and it was truly terrifying, to say the least.
Yeah,
it was. I could think some words, and they wouldn't come out. I would breathe. I would take my time. It was like watching Gareth Gates trying to speak. I was breathing and then thinking about it, and then trying to get a word out, and it just wouldn't come out. There was some sort of mental block that just wouldn't let anything come out whatsoever, and it was so terrifying.
Well, but you know, if you had told us that before we started this podcast, you see that whole bit when we're going, hello, I'm Lee, I'm Darren, I'm Jim, and then you went quiet. that would have been straight on the 999 call. We've been the first person.
Yeah.
Emergency! We've got the first podcaster to ever die on air.
Elton, are you fucking around with us? No.
Is that James Bond thing?
The name's Bames. James Bames. What? Bames Nond is having a stronk. Call up ambulance. Don't worry. It was something we saw online the other day. Yeah, I've got him again. Oh God! Anyway, Bames Nond is having a stroke. Oh. Oh God! He's off again. He's off.
Is he all right?
Yeah, Alden. There you go. He's having a stroke. It was a thing on Twitter by a guy called Sean Leahy called The Punning Man, and he just posted something in 2014 called "The Bond's Name, James Name. Please to what? Bond's name, the James. Are you all right? Bames Nond is having a stroke. Called an ambulance." He's gone.
Got all snotty and teary and everything.
So that's how code word now for having a stroke. Bames Nond is having a stroke.
Call a
ambulance. Are you having a strong Elton?
I'm all right at the moment. I'm good at the moment. Oh dear. I wouldn't recommend that for anyone whatsoever. But
no.
Yeah, I feel. I feel.
We're taking you very seriously. I shouldn't have pulled that. Jesus.
No, honestly, get well soon.
You twat. Such a knob.
Oh God, my packet of tissues. Oh,
right, I'm closing it off. You can't see it anymore. It's gone away. Right. Anyway. There you go. Carry on, Elton. So how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling all right at the moment. I was still feeling a bit woozy yesterday. Still had the headache and, yeah, kind of throbbing head. But at the moment, I'm all right. I'm a bit tired, trying to catch up on some sleep. Ain't going to happen again tonight.
Not at this rate, ain't.
Definitely not. But, yeah, feeling all right at the moment. So,
okay,
yeah,
well,
fingers crossed I won't get any more. If it happens again, at least I know what's going on. I can roll with it, I suppose.
Let's just say now, to save any awkwardness if you do feel knackered, basically do just tell us you're going and then just hang up.
Yeah, I will do, don't worry.
Well, I don't really want to be the first podcast to have a podcaster die live on air, but all publicity is
ratings.
All publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. Think of the ratings. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
hello. No,
What?
I'm just looking up symptoms for migraine.
Oh, right.
And there's something called aura.
What?
There's
Rita
different.
Ora?
No, it's the migraine to give us an overview, and then it's symptoms.
This is
I
totally...
don't get Rita Ora if I have another migraine, no?
Sadly not.
There's 4 stages apparently. There's prodrome, aura, headache, and postdrome. Though you may not experience all stages, but it sounds like you experienced aura.
Fucking mood.
Yeah. Aura may occur during migraines. Most people experience migraines without aura. Auras are symptoms of the nervous system. They are usually visual disturbances such as flashes or light of wavy zigzag vision. Sometimes aura can also be touching sensation, sensory, movement, motor, or speech, verbal disturbances. Your muscles may get weak, or you may feel as though someone is touching you. So that probably explains the thing on the face. Yeah, each of these symptoms usually begins gradually, builds up over several minutes, and lasts for 20 to 60 minutes. So there you go.
That definitely. It was maybe half the day, I think.
Yeah,
I was
difficulty
still
speaking.
struggling
There you
the
go.
day.
Visual phenomena such as seeing various shape, blah, blah, blah. Vision loss, pins and needles, sensation in the arms and legs, weakness or numbness in the face, difficulty speaking, hearing noises or music, uncontrollable jerking or other movements.
So you feel like someone else is touching you and you have uncontrollable jerking. That sounds like something completely different from
Yeah,
migraines.
it certainly does, doesn't it? But
Sounds like a
Poor
good Friday
excuse you
night.
caught.
That's good. It's a good excuse if you get caught. I'm sorry, I'm having a migraine. What, right in the middle of the bloody shopping centre? Why have you got your knob out? Sorry, no, migraine. Oh, dear.
That was my week anyway.
Blimey. Well, this is turning into the old men fall apart podcast
Isn't it?
between sheds, bad backs, migraines. I mean, what you were off the other week having a camera stuffed somewhere it shouldn't have
No,
gone.
I haven't. No, not recently.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I think we might just skip films altogether now and just go for ailments and read from the NHS 111 site.
But just remember, when we actually talk about ourselves, we've got to announce our age, okay, because we're old. So,
Of course.
it's like I've cheated the Grim Reaper. I'm still here, fuckers.
Right, okay.
I'm 84.
Okay, well, in which
You want a
case,
fucking medal?
we'll move on to you. So what bit of you has fallen off?
New section. And how's your ailments been this week?
Oh, bit of me lumbago's playing up.
Unfortunately, nothing as interesting as sort of like Elton's week, or as dangerous as Elton's week.
Right.
Apart from the fact that my train split and it started fucking raining, and I had to walk around London with one very damp foot. So there we go. That's about as exciting as it gets for me this week.
Trainer to Busan.
Trainer to Busan, yes.
The last train to Busan.
No, trainer to Primark. That's what it was. So
right. Okay.
Yeah. But no, it's been work.
Okay.
More work.
Okay.
But even more work.
Okay.
So there's that.
That's it, is it?
Yeah. I don't even think I've watched anything new this week.
No. Okay.
No, it's been a really boring sort of, my social, shall we life. I haven't been going out doing anything or anything like that. I've been, keeping off the streets, so everybody's been safe.
Cool.
So yeah.
And that's it, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sat around eating chocolate, So
Cool.
it's all good.
Worst ways of spending the day.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, can we just add to the old man's limit thing and just, were you listening to Radio 4?
No.
Oh, shit.
I'm
I was
deaf.
going to say,
Oh, past
you're
7.
deaf.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Eh? Okay. Well, in which case we'll move on to my week. Not really an awful lot happened with me either. I've started properly running now. And I've come to the conclusion that everyone who uses a vapor, and I understand it's one of those things. People want to get off smoking, so they want to get like vaping. That's fine. And people want to have something that doesn't smell like tobacco. That's fine. What I'm kind of having a problem with right now, especially with running through London, because I run from Cannon Street to King's Cross, which takes me through some very highly populated business zones with lots of people standing outside offices vaping, is that what I don't understand is why everyone wants to be Thomas the fucking Tank Engine.
You can actually change the settings on.
Or that is as may be, but most people don't. It looks like the old adverts for O2 when they had the cloud that kind of would float around. It's literally, it was like, I've got to the point now with my tolerance for people and their smoke, their vape is getting to the point where I'm actually getting to the point where I think if I can run fast enough, I can actually slap it out of their fucking heads and carry on going. It's fucking unreal. I felt like the other day, I started off feeling quite hot and sweaty because I was running.
Yeah.
And by the end, I didn't smell hot and sweaty. I smelled like fucking potpourri because I'd gone through like 72 clouds of vanilla, tea tree, lapsang souchong, fucking something that looked like, well, it smelled like someone had eaten Parma violets with a curry. I mean, it was just like, what?
I used to have a boss who he had a vape and he used to smoke it in the office, and it's like I'm sure he wanted to be a dragon because fuck me, he just took one puff, right, and I felt like I was back in Victorian London, you know, during a pea super.
Yeah,
expecting Jack the Ripper to suddenly come walking out of a fucking siding, you know.
It is. It was like, I mean, if there was any more smoke around, I would have been looking for Pan's People doing a disco fucking setup.
Well, see, this is where you need to get the lasers out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, speaking of vape, there is you do get people like that, but then re-vapes, and I don't even notice it because he's got one, very little smoke.
Yeah, I know, and I don't, that's what I'm saying.
The thing is, it's this culture of people who, I think, who want to just be dragons, because you really have to fuck with the settings and buy a special rig to produce those clouds of vapor, and you're wasting a shit ton of money in vape juice. Because I mean, I have one, but it's kind of, mine's completely minimal. I think it's kind of some sort of a guerrilla activity that started because when vaping came out, it was kind of, you could vape in pubs, on planes, on trains, and then a certain breed of non-smoker started whinging about it, and they got it banned. And I think a certain section of the vaping community said, "You're complaining about the unsightly steam of my vape and the smell? Well, let me see what I can do about that."
Well, yeah.
It's equivalent of the old kind of revenge for the badges, like, those pious non-smokers. You choke, you smoke, I choke.
No.
And Jack D said, sounds like a good deal to me. Light me one up.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah,
I think it's a reaction to that, and it is kind of. I mean, I'm a vapor, and I think it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's kind of.
Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, I bought my parents e-cigarettes to try and get them off of smoking. It seems to have worked, but so I don't have a problem with the e-cigarettes and the vaping per se. It literally was like I was running up Clerkenwell Road the other day, and there was like 6 people. All different people, different things, but each one of them was pushing out probably like just plumes. It was like a fucking special effect from a Harryhausen movie, and someone had said, "Oh, let's make a volcano." It was just like, where the fuck is all this coming from? And it's just this one little guy up the front pushing out like more. And that's the other thing. There's not even like smoking. It's when you watch a smoker, they kind of breathe it in, take it down, and then blow it out like as a part of a normal breath. This guy was literally going. It was like fucking over the engine. It was like. It's like you can't even breathe that fast.
Have you ever been past a vape shop at around about 1 in the afternoon? There was one, or there probably still is one, in Welling High Street, right? I'm not joking. At 1 o'clock, you can't even see into the shop, right? I shit you not. It's like somebody's gone for a fucking shower in there, right? It's just like this wall of swirly white stuff, you know, behind the glass. Like, it's The Mist. It's fucking Stephen King's The Mist.
Yeah, is there some multicoloured spiders floating around inside it?
Exactly. I'm expecting to see Thomas Jane in there somewhere, you know?
Or Amy Adams trying to communicate with some hexapods on the other side of the glass.
There you go.
Cool. Well, I mean, other than that, I took, was it Carol and Lisa went up to some expo, cake making expo, which was pretty cool because they went off and made cakes and came back with lots of sweet stuff, which was very nice. But I suddenly thought, well, you know what I'll do? I'll go for a geek afternoon with Katie, you know, because Katie's into the whole sort of geek things and she's getting into more geek things and she's watching Rick and Morty and Supernatural and fucking Orphan Black and all this other stuff.
Supernatural, the modern day equivalent of fucking Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time.
Well, she's up to season 14 now, whatever the hell that is.
Season 14?
Yeah, something like that.
What are they still making that show about? What could they possibly still be making episodes about?
I don't know.
What is it? Is it like the brothers fuck off to Tesco's because they've run out of fucking tea bags or something?
I think each one of them's died at least 3 times.
Jesus Christ! 14 seasons.
Yeah, I think the 14th season goes on air this week, and we're going to be watching some of the episodes when we're in New York because she's like, "We're gonna watch it when it comes out," that sort of thing. So, yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I've honestly only watched like a couple of clips and a few moments when she was watching it, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's what it is. What it is. It's just kind of anyway. So yeah. So anyway. So when I said, look, the other 2 are away. Let's go uptown. Go Forbidden Planet. You know, go to Forbidden Planet. Go Orbital Comics. Go see if we can find Gosh Comics. I'm pretty sure it's closed, but maybe it's around somewhere. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so up we go. Go in Forbidden Planet. She's going around. She's going, I like that. I remember that. I know. I get that reference now, and I've seen Aliens, so I know what that is. And it's like kind of an awakening if she's sort of like suddenly realizing all this stuff that she's been watching for years is suddenly like super cool and popular and all these sort of things. So she's really into it. Then it's like, right, okay, let's go find Orbital. So we went to Orbital, went around the comics. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's go to Foils. Yay. So we're really geeking out. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's go get a coffee. And then she says, oh, you know what? I've just got to pick up a little something, some clothes for, just to pick up before I go to school.
Warning.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I said, well, I'll tell you what, we've been around a few geeky shops. If you want to go to 1 or 2 shops, that's fine. 4 fucking hours of going to the most ludicrously garish nightmares I've ever experienced in my life. Do you know what the basement of Miss Selfridge looks like? I do. It's pink. It's pink everywhere, and it's mirrored, and it's lots of pink with pink neon. And pink luminous stuff with lots of pink and pink on the radio playing Pink and Pink by fucking Aerosmith.
And then you turn around and see that they've got a sporting event on TV and it's snooker and they're about to pop the pink.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the radio show's being hosted by Steve Pink. I mean, it was literally like I felt like I was getting my million years of radiation dosage just by walking down into that thing. Anyway, and then it was Miss Selfridge's. So then we did that. Then we did Topshop, and then we went into Primark, and then we went into H&M, and then we went into some other place that I don't even know how to pronounce.
How many clothes was she picking up?
I don't know. I think she was just. It turned out she was just taking photos of them.
What?
so that she knew
That's what
to
the bloody
buy.
internet's for.
I know.
Right click,
I
download
know.
photo.
I know, but we went round all these shops, and it was fine, but it was definitely like oh my god, you're talking about Elton getting a migraine.
Yeah.
I was like, I came out of there, and it was just, I came out of that sort of whole gamut of shops, and it was like, oh my god. And then we went, I was going to lie down, and then we went down Carnaby Street, and we went into this shop that did specialist fashion shoes. And I've never seen anything like the shoes that were in this thing. There was one set of shoes, and I kid you not.
Yeah.
Right?
It was just a shoelace, wasn't it? That's all it was.
No.
Go on.
It was a lady's shoe with a high heel.
Mm-hmm.
The shoe itself was like multicolored glitter, which is, that's a warning straight away. Then it had a massive bow on the front, which is also multicolored glitter.
These are a pair of tap dancing shoes.
No. These are going out fashion shoes. But the heel, which was about 6 inches tall, was glass.
Oh no!
It was filled with water, and inside was a carousel horse. And if you walked, the water in the bubbles in the heel made the carousel horse go up and down as you walked. For you, sir, £250. I was like, what the fuck? Who would even wear this shit? It's just like
people who like drowning horses.
I'm pretty sure in America they call clear heels stripper heels.
Well, there was a whole shop of this kind of stuff.
Holy shit!
I mean, seriously, there was some of the stuff we saw. It was at that point. I suppose this continues our theme of old men moan at shit.
Yeah.
I mean, because I literally came away feeling about 1,000 years old, because it was just like, I looked at all this stuff going, what?
Mate, all it would have taken is just one match to end all of it. Just one lit match just dropped anywhere in that shop, and it could have all gone up in flames.
Well, it would have been like sort of like
one match to burn them all.
Smeagol is going to cash for gold.
Did you feel flammable after coming out of there?
I did.
Did the chemicals from the clothing sort of seep into your own skin?
Yeah, exactly. And they came away feeling...
Those switch on a light bulb!
Yeah, fabulous. But anyway, no, so apart from that, not a lot else happened. We watched Doctor Who. Does anybody want to...
Yes, oh, yes.
Do you want to do a bit of comment on that?
Let's do a bit of comment on Doctor Who.
We've got a little bit of time.
I've not seen it yet, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
well, just a general overview.
Okay, thumbs up or thumbs down?
The thumbs up for me.
Yep, thumbs up for me too.
Yeah, it's got a different feel to it, I think, the whole thing. It's just not... It's not the same... It didn't feel like the usual Doctor Who. It just felt a little bit different. I liked it. I'm looking forward to see where this goes, and it's nice to see a Doctor who has to actually think.
Yes. This feels like the Doctor as you kind of imagine a Doctor.
It feels like the way I felt like watching that Patrick Troughton episode, where it's like, fuck me, that was unusual.
Or he's actually thinking his way through and out of a problem.
Yeah.
Rather than just pointing a sonic screwdriver at everything and pressing a button.
Yeah, not depending on technology. It's like, no, let's get this done.
We're making Jim's...
This is the kind of thing I want to hear.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Kind of, yeah. I suspected Mr. Chibnall was going to go old school.
Yeah.
I'm glad he has.
Yeah, I mean...
if that's what old school is, it's like, more of that, please.
If I've got any criticism, it's that it is very much like a 2000 AD step-on prog, sort of like it literally has to turn around to everyone who's never seen this before and go, this is how it goes. And in that respect, means that for some people, I mean, myself included, because we'd just been watching the Tenant season on Netflix.
Yeah.
But there's this kind of sense that, oh, here we go again. We're coming into the ground floor. And the villain feels very low stakes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. However...
I've got to say, I kind of liked the villain, but not just for the way it
No.
looked.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep. Okay.
The costume design is very good.
And the only other thing I was going to say was I think the new length, the new runtime of about 50 odd minutes gives it just that little bit more room to breathe, which I really appreciated. None of this Russell T Davies, we got 5 more minutes, let's just shout and gibber while the music goes through the ceiling and just hit a button and everything gets fixed. That was very good. That I liked because, there was a lot of stuff where they just had the Doctor talking to people and being normal. And you're like, I like that. I like that we're not constantly on the run all the time. Even though there's something to solve and something to do, we can take 2 minutes out to take a breather and actually have a character interaction as opposed to just, who are you? Yes, brilliant, fine, let's run this way. It's just, it was a different vibe to it. I enjoyed it. I'm really interested to see where it's going to go next.
I like the comedy in it as well. I thought the timing was good.
Yes.
Jodie Whittaker's...
Yeah, she's got the chops.
She has. I think she understands... Personally, I think she understands the concept of the Doctor very well. Yeah,
and I think it's good. I mean, it took me about 30 seconds to go from, okay, here we go, here she comes, and no, it's the Doctor. Right, fine. And it was just like, ping, we're off. And we're off again. So, that's all I'm going to say on the matter. Thumbs up. I'm looking forward to next week, and I think that'll be and where this thing evolves, how it evolves. It's going to be good.
Excellent.
There you go. Little teaser for you, Jim.
I'll be catching it tomorrow night, so I'm looking forward to that now.
Cool. I was going to say you could fake another technical issue and just go off and watch it on iPlayer now. But not before. Not before we review this week's movies. Did I know that Elton didn't get to watch Seoul Station, but did you, Jim?
No, I'm afraid a nap ate into my bonus feature time.
No, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. So me and Darren might do that bit at the end, maybe.
Yeah.
Or just cut it in with the rest of it. So, okay, let's do Train to Busan.
Nudie ladies. Dance in the flames, nudie ladies.
They're spinning round.
Oh, they are. Look.
Look at them dance. Look at them dance.
That one there. That one's eating a bag of popcorn.
Right, anyway, hello everyone and welcome to the second of the horror week things. One day, I mean, we've only been doing this 10 years. I mean, one day I'll get the horror thing sorted, I'm sure. But anyway, we're doing Train to Busan, and Darren and I are the only ones who've seen Seoul Station, so we might just throw a few bits and bobs in on that.
Yeah.
In fact, I tell you what, very quickly, Seoul Station, what did you think?
It was all right. It was not anywhere near as clever as Train to Busan. There were one or two flappy hand moments like, get in the fucking car! Or, shut the fucking door! But, yeah, it was just horrible people being horrible to one another. That's it. Yeah. Everybody, just about everybody in that film had, was just horrible.
Right. That's good. That saved us a review because I thought it was fucking awful.
Yeah.
I hated it.
I saw little bits of it. I saw about half hour of it. And I thought the animation was quite poor throughout.
Yes. Yep.
There were some bits where you could tell that okay, right, we need to sit down and talk about where the camera's going to go in this. And them bits seem quite good, where you have to pan around a character. That works quite well, but all the other bits seemed a bit ropey. And it causes a problem. Now, I haven't seen the whole thing, but when you're like searching for dinosaurs and stuff like that, and you get one dinosaur, and then you get the next leap in evolution to the next dinosaur.
Yeah.
And then someone somehow finds the missing link in between them two. Now, instead of solving a problem, you've created two new problems. where you found the person or the dinosaur that goes in the middle, but now you have two missing links either side of that. And this is what this animation does, or from what I've seen, is it doesn't give you an answer to what happened. Why am I wrong with that?
No, you're absolutely right. It doesn't.
It just moves it further back.
Mm.
It moves that problem, that missing link, further back.
Yeah.
And so then you're left going, but I thought this was supposed to explain it. Oh, it doesn't? Okay, fine. Well, now we need a story to go further back again.
No, we don't. We really don't.
No, we don't. But, I think you get what I mean, though.
Yeah. I mean, because we won't dwell on this because only me and Darren watched it, and you only watched 30 minutes of it, and Jim hasn't watched it at all, and then we got to get on to the other film. But as far as it being a prequel's concerned, it was pointless. It wasn't a prequel in so far as any of the characters were in the other film. It leads up to something you already know is going to happen, and it contradicts an awful lot of the stuff that happened in the film, which we'll get to. But the zombies find you by hearing you and seeing you. So if you're in the dark and you're not saying anything, they don't see you. This film is predominantly set at night.
Yeah.
So Seoul Station is set at night. So there are scenes where people are actually closing doors on the zombies, hiding in dark areas, and the zombies are finding them. Zombies are chasing them around corners. Zombies are doing all sorts of weird and wacky stuff that they do not do in the first film. And it reminded me very much, and this is going to make a lot of people's eyes roll, but it reminds me very much of the Mass Effect cartoon that came out called Paragon Lost, where it seems like they got hold of the property but didn't know anything about it, and so just made some shit up. And that's what this Seoul Station really did feel like to me. And then everyone in it's fucking horrible, so I couldn't give a shit about them by about midway through.
Yep. Everybody's horrible.
Yeah.
Even
people who
to an
shouldn't
extent,
be.
yeah. Even to the extent of one of the main protagonists, the girl that's in it, with a boyfriend at the beginning. You feel sorry for her, and then it's like there's a bloke who comes to try and help her because it looks like she's tired, and then all of a sudden she has a burst of thing and doesn't even really blink when he falls down and gets eaten by the zombies. She's just kind of like, oh, and fucks off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but we're not going to review that anymore. I mean, like I say, it was only a nice thing because it was on Amazon at the same time as Train to Busan, so we were going to review that. But if the four of us haven't watched it, then it ain't much. There's not much left to discuss really until we have. And to be quite honest, I don't think I want to watch this film. I don't want to watch Seoul Station again. People say, "Oh, it's much darker and grittier and grimmer than the other one," but as we'll find out, the humanity of the characters in the main film in Train to Busan is actually the bonus.
Yeah,
is actually the thing that makes you want to root for them.
Yeah.
Whereas Seoul Station doesn't have that. It's just relentlessly grim, and it's just like I don't get entertained by relentlessly grim. It just becomes boring.
Yeah.
But anyway, right. So let's move on to Train to Busan. Train to Busan is a 2016 South Korean zombie apocalypse action thriller film directed by, and here we go with Lee ruins another language section of the Black Dog podcast. It is directed by Young Sang-ho, starring Gung-hoo, Young Yoo-mi, Mai Dong-sok, and the film takes place on a train to Busan. Aha! Just as the zombie apocalypse suddenly breaks out in the country and compromises the safety of the passengers. The film premiered on the midnight screening section of the 2016 Cannes Film Festival on the 13th of May, and on the 7th of August, the film set a record as the first Korean film of 2016 to break audience records of over 10 million theatre goers. The film serves as a reunion for Gon Gong-yoo and Jung-Yoo-mi, who both starred in the 2011 film The Crucible. The prequel was released a month later. It had a budget which we don't know, but how much do you reckon it made, Dow? How much is it at the box office?
I don't know. I'll say 30 million.
Okay, Jim?
55 million.
Elton?
20 million.
It actually made $99 million.
Wow.
Oh.
Which isn't bad.
Good show.
I don't know how much it cost, though, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, they're making a sequel as we speak.
Okay. So, the review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes has the film with a 95% rating, based on 87 critics, and the critical consensus states that Train to Busan delivers a thrillingly unique and purely entertaining take on the zombie genre, with fully realised characters and plenty of social commentary to underscore the bursts of skillfully staged action. I won't bother with the rest of it because the only negative review is from a guy who wrote for IndieWire who said it's Snowpiercer with zombies.
Fuck off.
I knew you would have that respect.
Jesus Christ, I think that's a knee-jerk punch in the face, that comment. That is just like...
It is pretty...
Shut up!
It is pretty reductive as a comment.
Textbook lazy.
Yeah, it's a thing like a thing, so therefore I shall dismiss it. That's my hot take, signed the internet. Okay, so we've all seen this before, have we?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we'll just go around the table as per normal then. So, Elton, what did you think of Train to Busan?
Well, my first time out on this, I thought it was really, really good. I thought it worked really well. I liked what they did with the zombies and the story that they showed me. This time round, I think I liked it even more.
Mm-hmm.
I had a real good time with it. I find myself... I know the zombie genre is oversaturated. And to do another film of this standard as well in 2016, it could have been lost. It could have just been, do you know what? It's another zombie movie. We've got 1 million of them. We don't need another one. Let's just not spread this around the internet like wildfire. But I'm glad they did, because I really, really enjoy this. And it's for a number of things. First off, it's the pure body horror of the zombies that they have on the screen. These are the type of zombies that I would write. These are the ones that I would go, if I was going to be writing some fanfic or writing a screenplay or anything like that, this is the type of zombie I would have. This is what World War Z should have been.
World War Z should have been the book, but, let's just gloss over that, shall we?
World War Z, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Let's not get into that. That's maybe a conversation. Don't start him. That's a conversation for another time.
Yeah, but I'm still struggling to... I think they are just infected people, though. It's not like your architectural type zombie, is it? It's not a person that has died and then reanimated. This is a person who's been infected. This is more like 28 days later zombie.
But forgive me if I'm mistaken, but half the character, every time someone gets bitten, they get infected. But you clearly see like the lady stewardess get sort of like brought down, and she's clearly devoured, and then she kind of comes back. So
yeah,
I do think they're strictly speaking zombies in strictest term. But hold on. But we have a master of the occult and the undead here. Jim, can you call it? What do you reckon?
I think my reading on it is, and it is a virus that actually reanimates the dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of because they kind of people get sick, and then there's a point where they they seem to die, and then the virus takes control of their nervous system, and it's just this feral thing. They can't speak anymore. Their eyes go cloudy, and all they can really sense is changes in light and dark and sound. And there is absolutely no sense of self-preservation to them whatsoever. They are just a virus in control of a nervous system. It'll just hurl that body at whatever it wants to reproduce itself.
It does actually give a good
I
example
think
of
they
that.
definitely die and come back. Certainly, I think, splitting hairs, I like these guys a lot more than, say, like the infected in 28 Days Later, which did tending to be just kind of rabid people. Whereas these have a horrible, jerky, sort of spasmodic movement which they gain after the change. You know what I mean? They're kind of like rabid ragdolls coming after you.
Which is what
And
I
that
love
makes them
about
really... It gets the shambling of your classic zombie, but the speed of your 28 Days Later infected. And that's a genius combination, whether they're dead or not.
Yeah, that is what I loved about it, though. I loved that. I'm glad you said that. The ragdoll appearance of them, the way that they contort and spin around and look almost as if all their joints are just they're bendable in all directions whatsoever, and that makes it really creepy. There was that one dude who just flung himself off the top of the train onto the station. And he had his hand or his arm wrapped around the back of his neck and just ran at that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just the person who used to be in control of that body doesn't care about that arm up there. I suppose it is like the virus running the body itself just to spread itself. I didn't really think about it until now, until you said it, Jim.
Yeah.
So I just love the body horror that they put on here,
and it has a slightly supernatural vibe to it as well, because there's the one that always strikes me is when the first stewardess is taken down, and then she's lying there, and her knees are kind of backwards, and her arms are in the wrong place, and then all of a sudden she just goes from lying flat down, face down, to standing bolt upright.
Yeah.
But she does it in a way where her sort of like she's sort of her legs and her hips go up, and her midriff sort of kind of stays on the floor, and then all of a sudden it just kind of flops up. Like it's kind of like when you have a dead hand, you've been sleeping on it, and you move your arm, and the hand just kind of falls behind it, and it's kind of tracing behind it, and it was like, I was just like, oh my word.
Yeah, it's almost as if you can see the infection coursing through their veins and reanimating limbs separately.
Yeah,
almost like a puppet being pulled up.
They try and run before they can actually get up and walk.
Yeah, they kind of it's like kind of really shit pop and lock from the 1980s. Any minute now they're going to start doing double dutch, dancing on pieces of lino.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, carry on, Elton.
Well, I love the story that they show you though as well, with the way that they get off the train and then they get back on the train as well, and then you have a scene where you have to get from one carriage to another, and that's maybe where that reviewer's turned around and said, "Oh, it is a little bit like Snowpiercer," because that's just moving up levels throughout the train.
Yeah.
And that's a real easy interpretation to make, I feel, because they are doing different things with these zombies, with the light and dark, and they don't show it straight away. They have genius ways of blocking out these zombies as well. The real simple one of throwing water up on the window and put newspaper on it, and it stops them. You're like, geez, that was brilliant. I love that. It's so simple and such an easy tactic. And yeah, it's really defining their type of zombie that they have. They also have the fire extinguishers. I would never have thought that. I think that's a brilliant way of doing things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it does almost go into zombie by numbers, where you have to work your way through a certain carriage and then destroy these types of zombies, and then you walk into the next carriage and it's all of that baseball guys group, and okay, right, now I have to do this level and get through this level to get to the next level. And so I kind of washed out at that point, but the whole main arc in story I thought was really, really good. And, you have the old lady. Okay, the old ladies. Were they old ladies or were they young ladies with wigs on?
I'm pretty sure one of them was a young lady with a wig on.
Yeah, I think that's just a casting thing rather than actually the story.
Yeah.
Because that was a bit off-putting. That was a bit like, hold on, that's like some sort of like Saturday afternoon tea time.
You've been drinking some sort of elixir here, haven't you?
it was a bit sort of like, oh, variety show performance. Oh, look, I'm a little old lady. How do you know? Because I'm wearing a grey wig. Oh, right. Okay. You look like a 20-year-old woman. No, yeah. I'm definitely an old lady. Look, I'm wearing a shawl.
I've seen more convincing old women from that. Was it the Monty Python sketch where they've got the Women's Society doing the battle reenactments
of Pearl Harbor?
Next year we're going to do Camp on Blood Island.
But okay, with the story though, I felt, when we watch The Dark Knight, and we're all enjoying the Joker and the Batman. And then we got to the boat scene, and I feel that the boat scene was just one scene or one set piece too many in that film. And when we get off the train for the second time, and we're in the train yard, and you got certain people running around, and then a burning train comes from nowhere and smashes things across, and you end up underneath these trains. That felt like one scene too many for me. And then you have the obligatory bad guy who has to be bad because, he's a corporate suit and he's really high up. So naturally he is going to be bad. And that felt a little uneasy for me. It was zombie by numbers. But I think overall what I got out of it, and one of the last shots when the lady and the little girl are walking through the tunnel, and they're just about to pull the trigger on them, you're like, don't do that. And you can hear the little girl singing. You're like, oh, man, that's so good.
Yeah. Cool. So all in all, thumbs up for you then?
Yeah, definitely. I loved it.
Awesome. Okay, then. Well, then over to you, Mr. Jim. What did you think of Train to Busan?
Well, I sat down this afternoon after having a nap and a very large coffee. Pumpkin spice at this time of year, obviously.
Of course.
And sat down to watch it. And, I only saw it fairly, it seems fairly recently in my mind, but there was so much I'd forgotten. And what's more, there was so much in this that I got out of it knowing where it all goes. And I really, really appreciated that. When I first saw it, I was very struck by the economy of the storytelling and the visual flair with which it really did the proper show, not tell. And rather than having a lot of characters giving big, if we ever get out of here, I'm going to buy a farm. Oh, yeah, he's fucked. Sort of Hollywood sort of cliches. They left things understated and kind of awkward, and just we left with little comments and knowing glances where people had got the point. It's like when they're, preparing to, go further down the train. And my favourite character, he said, dads get a bad rap, don't they? And they'll look at him and goes, did I say something cool? And he just punctures that moment of awkward male bonding in a very realistic way.
Yeah.
And there's so many little things in this where the characters act, even when they're doing day-to-day things, I think really just, it sells you on the story because it's so well observed. Just like the little girl playing with the window in the car. Yeah. Which we all did as a kid and drove our parents fucking nuts. Even if we didn't have electric windows. But there's that fascination of winding the window up, wind it down again.
Yep.
And lots of really just naturalistic touches that really, I think, just give the story a weight that you wouldn't sort of peg immediately as being the important bits, but kind of as it builds up in the film, it really actually, these little things just aggregate to really, tell you who these people are, what they're like, and I really, really like the characterization. Even though it's very light on dialogue, at the same time, you really get a sense of who these people are through observing them. I really like the fact that end scene, for a start, it's really, I think, screwing with you if you know your film history, because, let's be honest, most zombie films aren't known for having the happy ending. Usually, it's a genre you can count on everybody dying.
Yeah.
And most famously, Night of the Living Dead, the template for all modern zombie films, the hero, spoilers, gets to the end of the titular night only to get shot by a numbnut sheriff who thinks he's a zombie.
Yeah.
And you really think they're going to do this here, aren't they? They're going to shoot a pregnant woman and a little kid to go, fuck you with a mist. You want to see Bleak?
Yeah.
Kind of. And the fact that they didn't was refreshing. But what I noticed this time round is the significance of that song and her singing it. Because,
right.
She screws up singing that song at the recital because her dad's not there, and now she's lost her dad. And once you see all those bits of the story come together, and I think you probably can't necessarily get on a first viewing because there's so much to take in. On a second viewing, it's details like that. You notice how it all ties together. You just go, God damn it, that's good filmmaking. That's good storytelling.
Yeah.
I loved it. I like the fact as well, I noticed, we had the corporate suit guy, but it was refreshing to see people actually being decent in this sort of disaster scenario, rather than just bitching and fighting like rats in a sack from the word go. Instead, there's panic, there's fear, but people try and do the right thing by each other.
Yeah. Which
I felt is actually more realistic, and because bleak and pessimistic isn't necessarily really realistic.
No,
it's the teenager's idea of mature, if you know what I mean.
Oh yes.
And I really liked the fact that it gave us characters who were heroic and emerged as heroes from unlikely sources. That was top notch. My only real sort of beef with the film is the corporate suit guy. I mean, he literally throws people under the bus, or rather under the train, and to the zombies.
Yeah. And
I kind of, although I liked at the end you get the reveal, he's wanting to get home to his mother, I kind of thought, I'm not sure that really justifies you throwing people to infected monstrosities to save your own skin.
Yeah. And
I felt him turning and becoming a zombie, it wasn't a bad enough fate for him.
No, he needed...
I think by the laws of sort of storytelling, he should have really suffered for what he had done. But maybe that's just, the vigilante in me coming out. But I really felt that's the only thing I could see in the second viewing where I thought the film had a slight misstep. Not a deal breaker by any means, but I just wished he'd got a worse ending because he was such a bastard.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, well, I'll get to that in my review, but yeah, the fact that they use him as like the boss zombie as well is just kind of like, you were so close, you didn't need to do that.
No. I'd much rather, he'd just been there at a squabble and he wasn't turned and he literally got his face ground into a hamburger by the gravel of the passing train. That would have been completely justified.
Yeah, definitely.
And more satisfying for the audience, I think, just to get that kind of fuck you.
Yeah.
He needed a proper EC Comics nasty death.
Yeah, he needed
punishment.
He needed to be Leslie Nielsen buried up to his neck in the sand, going, "I can hold my breath for a long time."
Exactly.
Cool.
But so other than that gripe, though, I mean, this film, it just got its hooks into me once again. And so but there's so much in it, and it's so well thought out that, we've seen zombies with milky eyes, God knows how many times, even going back to pre-Romero times. But I love the fact that in this version, the virus or the zombie, whatever, there was a reason for that, and that whole that they can't actually see very well; they just see movement and light and dark. And it's like, it makes perfect sense for those like cataracted eyes, and it's kind of it's the kind of thing I really dig, that thinking into the corners of your universe and then using that to really bring out some interesting plot twists.
Yeah,
and Another thing I'll give the film credit for is very good use of mobile phones. Now, I know if you listen to screenwriters talk, fucking the internet and mobile phones are the fucking curse of screenwriters.
Yeah.
And generally, modern cinema has actually, opted for the solution of, let's just pretend they're not there.
Normally, yeah.
Whereas in this, you've got people checking the phones, messing each other, and then the phones actually become, a tool to help them by accessing the internet and getting the maps, but in a completely realistic fashion, not in the kind of, I will just go on my bog standard handset I got from the high street and I will hack into the blueprints of the station and see where the ducts are. Because obviously every building in the world has its blueprints online for some cunt to hack into.
Blueprints.com, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
hackeverything.com / the Frank Black edition from Millennium. Enhance. You're on the moon, Frank. Christ. You can't read someone's watch.
It's a speaking clock. It's easier. But you know what I mean? I always like to see technology being used in an inventive way like that and not as kind of some kind of +5 magic item.
Yeah.
Or easy kind of, hey, quick, fire up your exposition plot device, plot hole filling gadget in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it did strike me as kind of, so often in modern movies, people are still writing stories if we're in the analog age and people don't have a mobile phone or a tablet or the internet. And it was nice to see that done really well for a change. But it's another point, it makes it relatable. The fact is, you kind of, well, yes, if you're in this situation, everyone would be on their phone messaging their loved ones, trying to find out what the hell's happening. And
yeah,
it's just, again, another point of where this was just well observed and so just well visually told. So yes, I mean, still big thumbs up from me. I mean, again, like Elton, I think I'm more impressed with it this second viewing because I noticed so much more details and the way it goes together. And it is kind of definitely, I do not say this lightly, modern classic horror movie, not just a classic zombie movie, but certainly a classic modern horror movie, if not actually a classic 21st century movie, full stop.
Big words. Well done. Nice. That's an impressive finale to your review there, sir. Whew, right. Well, Dow, what do you think? I mean, is it the modern classic? Is it a modern horror classic, do you think? What do you think?
I'd say it was.
Yeah?
It's dawned on me that this is a film that I think I can watch over and over again without getting tired of it.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I really love about this film is that it is so very clever. There's stuff that as has already been pointed out, there's stuff that the people in the film do. It just shows them as not being just two-dimensional characters. They have actually got a thought process that, works shit out. It's like the pregnant woman with working out they're only angry because they can see us, and then she gets a water bottle, flings the water against the screen, throws the paper up, and it sticks, and all of a sudden the zombies are just like dormant.
Yeah.
Because they can't see blurry shapes moving in the distance.
That's right.
And of course the thing with the mobile phone where noise distraction, set it off, it's like having a handheld noisemaker, remote noisemaker. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Really, really like that. Using the luggage compartments over the seats as a way to get past a crowd of zombies that can't actually see. Knowing, looking up, all right, fine, we've got the internet access, so what else can we do with it?
Yeah.
Let's just maybe, suspend our disbelief for a minute there with the power, electricity supply, and also the mobile networks still being up. Or not being turned over to the emergency services, which they do in emergencies. You find that suddenly your mobile signal has become very, very weak because the emergency services.
But that assumes a number of things. One, it assumes that they have the chance to do that. because the way the virus kind of spreads, it spreads really fast. And one of the more impressive moments is that whole thing of, it's starting to the whole thing's starting to warm up.
If you can organise a battalion of soldiers to get stationed at a train station, you've got time to switch the actual mobile networks over.
Fair point.
Fair point. That's it.
No, that's a fair point. It was more the fact that when you see it sort of warming up in the station as they leave, by the time the trains actually manage to make it to the first station that they stop at, it's already there. The virus has literally spread as fast as the train has moved, which I think is really quite cool.
It is good. It is good. But again, you got to pick it. It's like you got to be fair. They managed to mobilise the armed forces, and it's like, well, if they've got that, they've already onto that. They know it's a serious situation like that. Other things can be put into place. Yeah. But anyway, suspending that for a minute, it's like they play within the rules of their own universe.
Yeah, which
is what I love about films. Even no matter how ridiculous the actual premise, if they set a bunch of rules, and they play within those, no matter how far out they are, I can give it a pass.
Right.
Yeah. Unlike things like World War Z, where in that this is relevant to what we see here.
Yeah.
They say 30 seconds you're a zombie.
Yeah.
Except for when Brad Pitt needs it to be a bit longer, then of course it takes you longer to become a zombie.
7.5 minutes.
Exactly, because the female soldier that you have with you who's helping to protect you will become a zombie and kill you. But no, we've got enough time, over 30 seconds, to deal with the zombie situation and then lob a hand off. And it's just like, well, hold on, it's already in the bloodstream. And you've gone past 30 seconds, so doesn't matter if you chop the hand off. And it doesn't do that in Train to Busan.
No.
It doesn't set any hard and fast rules as in infection rate. You get the impression that it affects different people at different times. But okay, so they've still got the internet up and running. And so what does he do with it? He looks up tunnels. He looks up the train line and he finds out where all the tunnels are.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's great. And he's timing. He's like, takes 2 minutes to get through this tunnel. So this is what we've got. And that's the way they plan their movement through the train. It's not so much the fact that, yes, okay, you do get this in other zombie films where they've got to fight their way through a certain section.
Yeah.
But it's the planning they use. It's the technique they use to get through it, which is the thing that needs to be admired, I think.
Yeah.
That they are using that modern technology to help them get on the other side and also cause a noise distraction.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a clever film.
Yes.
I mean, there is some stupidity in it as well.
Yes.
But, apart from that, no, it really does work as a zombie film. It's just a step above quite a few that's out there. So I love that about it. I like the fact that this one actually had a character in it that I loved. There was one character in it that really caught my attention, and he was just I loved his character, and that was the guy. In fact, it was him and his wife, the pregnant woman. Those two, I thought, it's just such a realistic relationship, the way they played off one another as well.
Yeah.
Where she sees him when he opens the door and she punches him in the shoulder. And it's just like, that's real.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's a relief reaction from a loved one. And the fact you can see that they're so very, very close. And I love his little bits of his little throwaway comments, like when he gets, like, the small girls put his hand, put her hand on the belly and feel the thing, and he looks at her and goes, I made that. It's just like, and his wife turns around and is like, dude,
what? Seriously? Yeah.
I love that. I love the fact that, he could have been a complete and utter arsehole, but he wasn't. He was such a good bloke, and the whole, like, and I actually had a little cheer when the little girl's about to be grabbed by the zombie, and he comes in and just fucking lamps the zombie one.
Yeah.
And it's just like a real hero moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he literally shows the dad, this is how to be a decent fella.
Mm.
This is how to be a decent person.
Yeah.
So, and that when he finally goes down, it's such a sad moment.
Yeah.
But he goes down swinging, and he goes out the
Holding
best way
them off.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sacrifices his life
Yeah.
to get everybody else up, even when he's literally at death's door. He's already turned.
You're moving further from the mic.
Sorry, man. I see a flashing in the corner of my eye.
Okay.
It's my phone.
Yes.
Doing things at me. So yeah, it's the fact that there are characters in this that I really like. I even like the boy and the girl, him and his girlfriend. It's just such an unfair way for them to go out.
Yeah.
It's like
dick.
Mr. Cunty McCunt comes along and he is literally living by that phrase of, in a zombie apocalypse, I haven't got to run faster than the zombies. I've just got to run faster than you.
Yep.
That's him all over. That's his old modus operandi, basically.
Apropos of nothing, you got to stay near me now from now on, just in case there is a zombie apocalypse. Because,
exactly, yeah.
With my jogging skills, man, I'm going to outrun you.
You certainly are. Yes,
you are my bait.
Yeah, I am the food stuff. Yes, I know. I like the emotional core of this film as well, the relationship between the father and the daughter and how it develops, and in the end, she sees that he's not completely and utterly evil. You can see the way he's affected when he watches that film and he sees the look on her face as well, and it's that bittersweet moment at the end when they're walking through the tunnel, her and the pregnant woman, and she starts singing and you hear the tears in her voice.
Yeah.
It's just, that's a punch in the feels, that one.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that they didn't get shot.
Yes.
As Jim has pointed out, it's nice to have a zombie movie with a sort of a happy ending.
Well, I will be honest with you. After that thing that was it, Sabine suggested we watch, The Rain.
Yeah.
There's a scene in one of those episodes where a guy refuses to shoot a lady with a baby that results in all of his platoon being wiped out by the virus that she's carrying. Yeah. And I just suddenly got the flashback to that again. I thought, oh no. And then I completely forgot. I almost forgot I'd watched the film twice already. But anyway, carry on, sorry.
So, I love that about it. Some of the set pieces in it as well.
Yeah.
I love, and even though I really, World War Z tries to do the same thing, but they don't do it half as well as this film.
No.
And that's that blossoming. It's like a flower blossoming when they're in the carriage and all of a sudden it's one or two zombies, but then they get hit by another wave of zombies behind them.
Yes.
And it's literally like a flower blossoming down a carriage.
Kind of rolls down like a sea of them.
Where they're literally climbing over one another, but it's so fast, it just looks like a tsunami of the dead, coming at them. I love that.
Yeah.
There is the whole thing of, again, shut the fucking door, you dippy twat. There is that in it as well. Yeah. Because whether they're going to, whether it's going to stop them, you just closing and run away, doesn't matter. Close it and put your weight against it.
Yeah.
Do that. Try something. Because you're not going to outrun these fuckers. You've only got so many carriages you can go for.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it's good when they finally have it pointed out to them.
Yeah.
That these things don't know how to handle door handles.
Yeah.
And it's like, Of course, that doesn't stop Cunty McCunt zombie at the end from opening the door in the train carriage.
Well, he isn't fully turned at that point.
No, he isn't, is he?
No.
No, because he comes out and he starts going, he kind of reverts.
Needing to go to his mum and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. I get the impression that the way it treats the zombie virus, it gives you your last sort of, I don't know, maybe it takes you back to your last real happy moment in your life or something like that.
Yeah.
Before you turn, if you get bitten, you're literally wasting away and then you turn.
Well, that's almost something they do with Seoul Station, don't they? With the guy having that memory of the baby being born.
Well, that's what the father was doing.
No,
the father
that's
did
at the
it,
end.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting mucked up, confused now. Go
Yeah.
on, yeah.
Or maybe actually it wasn't such a pleasant memory, and the way it handles it is you get the death you deserve. And actually thinking about it now, that makes more sense for the businessman, because he was going about, oh, I'm frightened, take me home to mummy, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's the memory it's left him with. Whereas because the father did finally do the right thing and help people and save people and
Yeah.
whatever, he got to die with the best memory he could muster, which was the
Interesting.
birth of his little girl. You know,
Interesting point.
so maybe that's a comment on, you know, be good, have a good death, be bad, go out screaming.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. That's interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way.
yeah, it's just come to me now.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mm.
there is that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
So yeah, for me, total thumbs up. Oh, I'm glad I've got it in my Blu-ray collection. I really am.
Yeah.
It's definitely goes in the, you know, this is how horror has developed now, you know, and it's developed in the right direction.
Yeah.
Where this film's concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, I have to say, between this film and Quiet Place and well, I don't think apart from those two, I don't think I've seen a decent, like a proper the Autopsy of Jane Doe, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, there haven't been sort of proper standout horrors. I mean, everyone keeps going on about Hereditary, but that was bollocks. I don't care what anyone says. If you didn't see what was coming in that film, then you haven't seen enough horror. That's all I'm saying. But as far as it goes, I mean, for me, the Train to Busan is one of those films where it's clear that the person who's made it has got a love for the genre, but also loves making like a film which is, you know, coming at it from the right direction, which is essentially you don't give a shit about what happens to anyone in the horror film if you don't give a shit about the people in it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that struck me. I mean, when you watch something like the original Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, or even the first 28 days later, A Quiet Place, in fact, the reason that stuff is so impactful and works so well is because the horror comes in small drips and drabs, and you feel for the people in the situation.
It builds up a human story as well.
It is. It's the human story comes first, and then what happens is the horror drops in on top of it and fucks everything up. And, you know, when you go to sort of the other end of the spectrum, you know, your slasher movies, your generic slashers, you know, your supernatural sort of bottom shelf Netflix direct fodder, where it's just like we've drawn a scary monster that couldn't possibly have been made by the special effects because basically there's no one involved talented enough. It was just the box art bloke. I mean, you tend to just find that you just see people just turn up to just basically fucking die. And you just go, yep, there's another person. Oh, there goes another person. Oh, the bloke with the beard's gone. Oh, right. What happened to that guy with the check shirt? Oh, he's dead. Oh, right. Okay, fine. And you just kind of shrug all the way through it. What Train to Busan does very, very well is it starts off with a whole load of characters. You don't even realise you're being introduced to them at the start. It does that thing of just like you see characters and you see them just milling about, and it's just kind of random miasma of people just got of mingling about, and it's only once the shit starts to happen you realise that you've been watching them for about 30-40 minutes and they've all got their own individual stories, they've got their own things going on, and you've been slowly pulled into the human drama of things before it all goes, you know, absolutely fucking bug nuts crazy. And that makes everything that follows that much more impactful. You care about these people. You care about what's happening to them, and you didn't realize it. You didn't realize you were invested in what was going on with them. From the dad and the daughter, for example. He's a dad who's working too hard. He's kind of divorcing and all this kind of thing, and the daughter's sort of being raised by the grandmother, and you get all that stuff, and you think, well, why is any of that relevant? And then by the end of it, you realise that's been the arc all the way through of this guy learning to be a good person, learning to think, be thoughtful of other people, because he's doing it for his daughter, but then he's doing it for everyone on the train, and he's doing it for himself. He's almost like saving his own soul kind of thing. And the same goes for the husband and wife with the pregnant wife. They start off as just like, yeah, he's a bit of a dick. He's protecting the toilet or whatever it was, the lady who's in there. And then you actually go, well, actually, he's doing it for the right reasons. And then by the end of it, he's the hero, saving everyone, fighting off zombies left, right, and centre. And you just realise that you find yourself being pulled along with these characters, so that when stuff starts to happen to them, you start to find that you're going, no, and especially when businessman Twat Hammock just kind of when he
I'm having that as a Twitter handle from now on.
Businessman McTwat Hammock. Yeah. When he throws the cheerleader under literally out of the way into the line of a zombie.
Utter tosser.
At that point, I mean, and I've seen this, like I say, I've seen this film 3 times. I've seen it once at the cinema, I've seen it once on video, and then I've watched it now for this. And I tell you what, every time I'm like, oh, you fuck.
Exactly.
And you find yourself getting really wound up. And you don't get wound up when people do that in like when that Justin Theroux bloke did it in is it Justin Theroux? I can't remember if it is, in the remake of Dawn of the Dead. The slimy geezer.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. When he did it, you just kind of like, yeah, okay, I had you bagged as a bad one right from the off. And he does it to people who you really don't give a shit about. So you're just like, whatever. Or, but when you kind of start off thinking, well, okay, I understand this person, and then they suddenly go one step too far, and you're like, oh, you little fuck. It's the Burke effect. Burke starts off as a bit of a slimy corporate geezer, and he's got kind of a bit of a sense of humour, and then by the time he's kind of locked everyone away and he's running into the med lab and he's getting caught by the alien at the end, and it's just like, yeah, you fucking deserve that, you absolute shit biscuit. And that's because you're invested in those characters. What?
You absolute shit biscuit. I love that.
The only problem I have with his story, though, is I totally agree with the animosity that we got for him and the way that he's taken out. But the way that he gets there, I find a bit jarring, because you have that scene where they're told to get back into the caboose. They've worked up that our heroes have worked their way through the train. They got into where all the other passengers are, and now they're told to get back into the caboose, where they're going to be safe. We know that because the zombies have to get through the other people to get to them. And we have that shot where, and it is a grim shot where you can see the zombies have worked their way through, where the old lady has opened up the latch and just decided, no, do you know what? These are horrible people. Let's destroy them all. And the zombies steaming, and you have that visual effect of the blood hands and bodies just thrown against the glass, and our heroes can see all that happening. And then you have like a pan shot into the toilet where him and the conductor are safe.
Yeah.
And you are stood there going, where did you get out of that?
Well, yeah, I must admit that still makes me confused, but then seeing as how he acts in the rest of it, throwing people left, right, and centre, I got the feeling that half of the first few people who died were probably ones where he was pushing towards the toilet in the first place and just throwing them forward. it's not like a deal breaker for me. It does make me kind of go, really? But it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger walking out of a nuked forest at the end of Predator. You're kind of like, really? Hiding behind a tree got you away from that, did it? Really? Yeah. But you kind of, at that point, you're just like, yeah, you got to just kind of give it a little bit of artistic license.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. In another film, I might not have given it that sort of like leeway, but by that point, I'm usually so invested in the characters. I'm just like, yeah, all right, fine. You can have that one. That's a gimme. That's a mulligan. You can have that one. But yeah.
even after that, he literally chucks the conductor and the zombie.
He does.
It's like, fuck it, I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gone.
The only thing I didn't like, the only thing in that whole thing, which I think, I can't remember which one of you three brought it up, but it's that whole thing of it suddenly tries to elicit some sympathy for him when you find out he's been infected, and he's like, and he's going, oh, I just wanted to get back to my mother and all this sort of thing. And it's like, yeah, you would have been fine if that wasn't preceded by you killing the cheerleader, killing the driver of the train.
Yep.
That you absolute cockknocker, and and so many other people who would still be alive if it weren't for you. And this whole sort of like, oh, but woe is me kind of bit at the end is like, absolutely no sympathy. And then he bites the dad, and at that point, I was in Jim's camp. I want to see him go down piece by piece.
Yep.
Literally go down like that lieutenant in Day of the Dead. I wanted him pulled apart, and I was just like, but then what does it make me? I'm supposed to be rooting for the heroes and not sitting there going, give me more blood and guts.
Yeah, but it's I mean, it might be dark to say this, but what I would have liked to have seen a fitting end for him, and you don't see him die. The last image you see is of him reaching out to the train as it pulls away, and his intestines, like 30 or 40 zombies standing around his stomach, just eating him alive.
What would have been poetic?
That would have been you got your comeuppance there, mate.
What would have been poetic would have been the conductor who he killed, throwing under the bus, getting him, knocking him, and then he gets run over by that flaming train. Because I wanted that. As soon as I saw that flaming train, I was like, yeah, that's got your name on it, you besooted twat hammock. You're just absolutely going to get that. You're going to get a bullet train enema, and then it didn't happen. No. And it was like, oh, what a shame. But but as
can I
go on.
Just ask about the infection? What everyone thought about the infection and the actual story behind it, because we get hints of the actual dad creating it or being part of the creation.
No,
it's the company that they're working with.
Yeah,
they're working with. Yeah.
He sells shares and all that kind of stuff, doesn't he? He's a stockbroker.
Yeah. And
what happens is at the very beginning of the film, you get that whole thing of the company that's actually caused the outbreak wants to shut up shop before it all gets discovered. That's what, because they go sell everything, and he's like, I'll destabilize everything, and he's like, yeah, but sell everything, and it's like, really? Okay, and they sell everything, and everyone's going, why have you done that? They've destabilized the market. It's this big company dissolving all of its assets, and it's like, it's only later on, which I really appreciated, isn't? And what Jim was saying about thinking into the corners, it's that whole thing of suddenly you go back and you go, of course, they know there's going to be like all sorts of fallout if this shit goes south, and they're going to be called to account. Yeah. These people are literally running for Brazil, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, the actual fallout has already happened because we already know the infection's there, because it's really easy to forget about it. But the deer gets run over at the beginning.
I was about to say that it's jump species.
Yeah. Yeah, well, exactly. Jump species. I mean, it's
because there's that report of foot and mouth when he pulls up into that holding pen for the van.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? It's that whole thing of that it's clearly been done once or twice before, because that driver literally says, "Oh, this is like the fourth time this week or something, fourth time this month," and they're like, "Yeah, well, we're just spraying everything, have to check everything," and it's like, this company has clearly been. Been reading from the umbrella book of biohazard containment. The Umbrella Corporation is the shittiest company ever to work for.
There's also the benchmark that all other evil corporations kind of use. Really,
the umbrella standard.
Yep.
It's the British Standards umbrella kite mark. It's right there with Vault Tech, for companies that are just absolute crap. You just wouldn't want to work for that, and Black Mesa. I mean, it's just
sponsored by Black Mesa.
Sponsored by Black Mesa and Umbrella. Your safety is not our problem.
No safety, no problem.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I love this film. I really love this film. I find the last 20 minutes or so is getting right on that verge of being a little too, well, I know where this is going. It's getting a bit tedious. Not tedious, terrible, but just tedious because it gets to the point where all zombie films have to get to, which is your final guys, the final people making the last dash for somewhere that may or may not be entirely safe. They're really on a limb now. Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, 28 days later, they've all done it. That last mad dash that's going to lead them to either salvation or their doom. And you kind of like, do we have to do this bit? Can't we just have them just go off on the train and just end it there? But, on the other hand, I completely understand it. But yeah, I go with Jim. I think this film, this is going to sound hyperbolic, but I think this film is like the Back to the Future of zombie movies. In terms of, you sit there, you watch it, and like I say, I've seen it 3 times now, and you're still seeing bits, little things in the background, little nods, little bits in the dialogue, little things which are kind of, you dismiss the first time, and then the second time you watch it, you go, of course. And then the third time I've watched it, you're kind of going, they set that up way back at the beginning there, and it's all these things all come together, and it's just so elegantly put together. And yeah, I mean, there's not been many what I'd call solidly good horror films in the recent years. Yeah. I think, like I say, I think Quiet Place, this, Wreck, and even Wreck really only lives and dies on its kind of last 20 minutes, to be honest. But it's, yeah, I think it's a classic. I think it is a genuine classic, and it is really well done. And it's purely because the film does what all horror films should do, which is focus on the characters first, then put them in a horrible situation. Don't just throw the horrible situation at a bunch of ciphers, otherwise it just doesn't work.
Can I just ask, before we kind of get to a point where we wrap up and talk about next week's movie?
Yes.
I've talked about flappy hand moments, right?
Yes.
Where you're saying, like, run, you fucker.
Yeah.
What's everybody's favourite flappy hand moment in this one? For me, it's the bit where they're going down, they've reached the station and there's nobody there. And then they think the whole place has been quarantined off and everybody's going to be all right. And they walk down the stairs and they see all the soldiers. And then they realise all the soldiers are infected and they start running up the stairs towards them.
Yeah.
That, I think, has to be possibly one of my favourite flappy hand moments, where it's just like all the people fucking turning round, climbing over escalators. One
of mine is just a little bit further along from that, when the train starts to pull away and they're all trying to jump on it, and all the zombies are falling onto the roof of the train and then falling off the sides, and it's just like, and it's like running for the train, running for the door, and it's like, it's just like, oh, so good. Go on, Jim.
It's the scene where the lights have just come back on, and the father's gone back for the stranded guy, and they think they're going to sneak out. And there's the world's worst evilest bit of litter ever.
Oh, the fruit can.
Yeah.
Drink can. Shit.
He just goes, run.
Yeah.
He does it. He does the Ed. Was it same fucking director?
Ed
Wood. Yeah. Never got a license. Run.
So good. Elton.
Mine is a quieter moment, I think. It's at the very beginning.
Go on.
Where you have everyone getting on the train, and the conductor, he looks one way, and then looks another, and something just blurs past you. And you're like, oh, what was that? And it was that lady getting on, and she's clearly been bitten, is in massive distress.
Yeah.
And you're like, if it's the sliding doors moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you're just sitting there going, oh no,
Yeah.
oh, this is all going to go wrong now.
There's a reason for that blur behind him, and I'm going to find out in a minute, and I don't want to. Don't get on the train.
Down. Yeah. There's the sliding doors version of this film where that door closed before she got on. She ate the conductor and the train just had a very merry trip all the way to the very end.
Yeah, it's a really quiet journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really quiet journey, and they just sort of pull in and wait at the sidings for 48 hours. Cool, brilliant. Okay, well then, so total thumbs up. I think
so,
all
yeah.
round. Brilliant. Well then, it's time to get on to our next film before we say goodbye. Next film. Now, I thought this was my choice, Train to Busan, but it wasn't. It's Darren's choice. So now it's time for my choice. I was a little unsure what I was going to do. And then I found out that the film that I was going to choose is still on Netflix. So it may all go away very quickly.
Until tomorrow, when we need to watch it.
Exactly. Until tomorrow, when it will suddenly go away. Now, I know Jim's watched this film, and I have mentioned this film once before.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you or Elton have seen it, Dow.
Okay.
It's called Under the Shadow.
Oh, yes.
Under the Shadow.
It's a film.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've only seen it the once, Jim, but it's set in Palestine. And basically, is it Gaza Strip? Can't remember if
Pretty
it's
much, yes.
pretty much the Gaza Strip. And it's a lady and her daughter who are in a house which it gets bombed, and it's not the bomb they have to worry about in the house. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
It is a subtitled film.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that now. But it's a different film. It's not the kind. The one thing I like about doing the horror section for Black Dog is that we get to sort of bring every now and again, we get to bring the odd film that people haven't watched or maybe would have thought about watching but didn't quite bring, and just kind of, oh, do I do this one? Do I do that one? And, you know, things like Wreck, when no one had seen it or even heard of it and then watched it and was like, bloody hell! And hopefully someone's watched Train to Busan off the back of this and has enjoyed it as much as we have. Don't watch Seoul Station, though.
You don't need to.
I'm hoping this will be the same. I'm hoping this film will be the same for you guys, because it's different. Wouldn't you say, Jim?
Definitely. It's one of those movies. It's a slow burn. At first, you'll think, what on earth have these pillocks recommended?
Yes.
It seems to be more like a drama, but just trust us, stick with it. It's all relevant as well. Just stick with it, because once things starts going down, you won't forget some of the scenes in it.
Yeah, unforgettable is definitely a word I'd use. So yeah. Oh, by the way, you know what? We've completely forgotten one thing that's a tradition on this series.
What's that?
The roast potato score.
Oh, fuck yes.
Elton.
Yes, hello.
How are we doing on roast potatoes? We've had Nosferatu.
Not even a chip.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Right, okay.
Yeah, maybe a plate of just gravy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And this one?
This raises it up ever so slightly, although because I quite enjoy zombies, I get less scared of them.
Mm.
Now, you're talking about this new film, the next week, I'm getting worried.
Mm.
I have no idea about this, so I'm getting worried about that. But rating for Train to Busan, 5 out of 10.
5 roast potatoes.
Yeah.
So are you saying, Elton, that next week's film could be a whole bag of King Edwards in an industrial vat of oil?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? All right,
Definitely.
okay.
What do you reckon, Jim? Just let's take some bets on this one.
Oh, I'm reckoning at least 7 roast potatoes by the end.
Fuck off, man. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm thinking a full plate of roast potatoes with one of those really big Yorkshire puddings. You know, the ones that you can put all the stuffing and all the meat in.
Mm.
Definitely.
Really?
Floating.
This is the film most like Lake Mungo we've done, I think, so far.
Yeah, it's got a proper Lake Mungo vibe.
Really?
For sure.
Oh my
It's that
God.
kind of serious filmmaking, serious drama, and some really spooky shit.
No. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking
Get up and on, lad. Get up and on.
yeah. If you start boiling the sprouts now, you might be all right.
Oh, you bastards.
Yeah, Under the Shadow, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Palestinian horror film, come drama, come social.
Iranian.
Oh, it's Iranian.
In the Iran-Iraq civil war.
I
remember that.
knew it.
Yes.
I knew it was.
Flashback.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, Iranian. Sorry.
Oh, you've just caused another conflict, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I've literally shown my ignorance about world affairs in about
I've shown the poorness of my memory because I've reviewed this film before myself. So
Yeah, well,
there you go.
I haven't seen this film in years. I mean, literally, like I think 2 years, 3 years when it first came out. In fact, I think I saw this the same Fright Fest as Train to Busan. I think, if my brain is right,
Yeah, it's still on. Yeah, it is definitely on Netflix.
2016.
2016.
Yeah, so that's it. I would have seen it at the same festival.
Okay, I've not even read the explanation of the film. I'm not looking
just
at
go
it.
in completely blind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go in blind and just know that when it's slow, that's fine. It won't be slow for long.
Well, the image that they have there is just like it's just 3 people looking very fucking worried.
Yeah, that's about the size of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Lake Mungo. Yeah, is a good shout there, Jim. Cool. Right. So we'll leave it there. So thank you everyone for listening. But before we go, Jim, do you want to tell us what's happening in the world of Hypnagoria?
Well, this week I'm just doing a wrap up of the Innsmouth series with a discussion on the story itself and its themes, and a big also turns into a potted history of H.P. Lovecraft as well.
Hooray!
And this weekend, maybe slightly delayed due to various reasons, but I'm doing a very special episode, which will be my 400th released podcast.
Wow!
Yay!
Lord.
Congratulations! Golf clap all round.
I think so.
He reached 400 before we did. How does that happen?
I have no idea how I got to 100.
Fair dues. Okie dokie. So we'll wait and see on the 400 then. See what you come up with.
Yep, as will I.
It's a clip show. Do a clip show. Right. Okay. And Elton, what about you, sir?
You can catch me in all the normal places, such as road2media.com, where I'm talking about cars going around in circles and time travel movies.
Right. Yeah. You got a new flux capacitor. Flix capacitor. Sorry.
The Flix capacitor, where we are talking about the film Arc.
Nice. Which I still haven't watched, so I've got the podcast on hold. But yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's it. Otherwise, do follow us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/groups/the Black Dog Podcast. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can, though it's really very quiet, but we're at Black Dog Podcast. You can follow me and my Instagram, where I'm desperately trying to keep up with Inktober at the moment. Which is instagram.com/cartoonbeardy, or one word. And that's about it, really. So, yes, do join us next week for Under the Shadow.
Under the Shadow.
Under the Shadow. It's going to be a good one. Until then, we'll see you next time. Take care. Tatty bye.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Oh, bollocks to it.